Hi, welcome to Theology Matters, episode 2. In last video, we talked about theology. And we established that theology loosely means reasoning about God, and that every philosophy, every idea begins by defining who God is first, or what they think God is, and then shoot from there. We'll give an example of communism or socialism, at least here in China. You'd begin by stating who God is, and then that would determine your politics. So epistemology, which is what we're looking at today, is a huge topic in philosophy. I haven't read the whole thing, but the question this study tries to answer is, how do we know what we know? A practical example for us to think of is that we're always having an epistemological problem to solve every day. And in school, when you're asked to produce a paper in a journal, you're asked to write references. And that's the way the author is asked to answer the question, how do you know that your findings are true? How do you know, what you're claiming to know? So it's an appeal to authority based on knowledge. Thesis is the same. Graduate school, master's or PhD or undergrad. You're supposed to give a list of your references, establishing a line of thought based on knowledge that has been approved to be valid. So Christian epistemology, how does it work? I'll try to show you a simple model of it. And it begins with God at the center. Right? So God, with all his perfect attributes, knows perfectly mathematics. He knows perfectly physics, any form of science or history, medicine. Just name any field of inquiry that you could think of. Just put it up there. What else could we put? Did I put politics? Okay, that's a politics. Religion. Yeah, why not? So God has perfect knowledge of everything. He knows exactly what these things are because he's perfect. So how do we view things? Remember, everybody has a worldview. So the Christian worldview is, if this is you standing out here, how you interpret any field out here is by first looking to God and interpreting everything through God's eyes. And that's how we come up with knowledge, or at least we make conclusions. Because the data is the same. But the conclusions we make about these things will come through this lens. For example, if I had to add abortion here, or racism, the Christian answer to this question or this problem will be based on what they believe God says about these things. Is it, do we agree? Do we disagree? Will be based on how you view who God is. And that is the Christian epistemology. Any man-centered idea would have man in the middle and God outside. He's like someone we quest to know, but we are the ones trying to understand medicine, physics, and biology, religion, any of these things. So the problem with this model is that the person at the center is less than perfect. Yeah? They have what you call flaws. we're finite. God is infinite. We're finite. Our knowledge is finite and flawed. And therefore, every knowledge claim we make about any field, when we're at the center, will be flawed and will have holes about it. And if we're at the center, we push God out, therefore God becomes irrelevant to these studies, and therefore interpretations made or conclusions made by this position will be totally different from the Christian position. And I would say wrong, at least in its conclusion. In its observations, probably right. Everybody knows dinosaurs exist, but the interpretation of that data is what would be different. Did they exist millions of years ago? Or did they exist 6,000 years ago? Or 10,000? Anyway, so that's what epistemology tries to answer. How do you know what you know? And can you justify your knowledge claim? Okay, so what are we saying? What is Christian epistemology? Well, it begins with you loving the Lord with all your heart, or your mind, and all your strength. And then we would conclude rightly in each field that is there. In ethics, in medicine, in religion, finance, politics, history, anthropology, and philosophy. Our conclusions about these would be true knowledge. It might not be perfect knowledge like God knows, but it will be true. So God knows everything the way it actually is. So our submission, our worship to Him would create a framework. A framework for us to judge what we know. It will create a boundary for us to know. And all this is based off Proverbs 1 and 7, Proverbs 9 and 10, the beginning of knowledge, or the fear. The fear of God is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So, bear in mind, if you're an atheist, or a Muslim, or a Buddhist, or whatever other ideology, or religion, or worldview is out there, everybody has some kind of worldview in their head that is guiding how they know what they know, and the conclusions, and I will emphasize, the conclusions they make about those things begins with this relationship. And so that's that for today, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.